how do we find out about students' prior dispositions? Brainstorming always works. Asking questions. A pretest is a sort of student to teacher feedback about their prior knowledge. But a discussion opens it up that they can hear other people's prior knowledge experiences. So I think it is worthwhile at the start of every unit, at the start of every semester, at the start of a new topic, to just have a general discussion about where students, what they know about this, what they can share with one another. One of the pleasant possibilities is that you might discover someone in your class with a wealth of knowledge and experiences on the topic. One of the important possibilities is that you would discover people with a wealth of misunderstandings that you might want to try to correct and intervene on that level before you begin instruction. Remember the fish model. If they have something wrong from the start, everything is going to settle in wrong later on. But having a discussion, if it's something more on attitudes and motivations, maybe using a case right up front before you start the discussion to hear people's impressions, their reasoning, their thinking on the topic. And then you start your instructional path after addressing what's come out of that prior knowledge intervention. It could be as simple as a brainstorming session where you ask people to talk. It could be as complex as a pretest where you actually ask them step by step. And it could be as community-oriented as a class discussion. But I think when we ignore that step, we're pretending that prior knowledge doesn't work, is not important, and we're acting as if we're in charge of what the students learn, and that we can design interventions that are generic and that they can work for everybody irrespective of where they are as learners, and that's not true. That's absolutely not true. So that's one of the finding out ways. When we're finding out, I want you to think broadly in terms of what you want to find out. It's not always about declarative knowledge. It's not always about facts and methodologies, and it's sometimes actually about how they learn. It's sometimes about the procedures. If you're giving students research work to do in the library, do they know how to do research? Do you know what research means to today's students? It means Google. It doesn't mean anything else. If you say you have to conduct research on something, everybody's just picturing, think of the fish, the Google sign. So I have to sort of lay out in a procedural way what my research entails. That is, I want you to consult scholarly journals in this area, and this is what a scholarly journal is. It's not Us magazine, it's not People, it is the Journal of Adolescence, it's a journal of social psychology, and this is why it's called a scholarly journal, and these are how many, explorations I would like you to make, either via the computer. I have no problem with that, but it can't just be Googling stuff. I would say, in terms of prior knowledge, don't think just of concepts and facts. Think of what's important to the task at hand. It may be the attitude is the most important thing. It may be the methodology is the most important thing. Whatever it is that's important for you to know that may stand in the way of your students' learning, that's where you should make the focus. With freshmen, I do a lot of metacognitive focus. That is their knowledge about learning, their knowledge about their own learning, and try to find out what they consider to be an appropriate amount of work. So this is the summary points, and I'm glad you all have these notes so you don't have to think about writing these things down. That from all we know about learning, knowledge is constructed. It's not transmitted. It's constructed. Each learner has to construct his own knowledge, and that prior knowledge is a foundation. Those are the two base factors. When we know a little bit more about what students know, we can help them to build up traditional, accurate knowledge bases. We also know that misconceptions stand in the way of learning, and it's part of our job as learning facilitators to try to debunk those misconceptions and to get students to form more accurate pictures of what we want.